It's finally time to open up the Deep Rock Galactic expansions. This is something that I'm really looking forward to. I didn't actually back these on Kickstarter. I just decided not to because it was just too expensive at the time. But then I later had FOMO, as you often do, and I ended up pre-ordering these on BackerKit. So I might be missing some things in here from the actual Kickstarter, some exclusive stuff, but hopefully I'll have the majority of what I need to play the game. Been playing the base game again recently, so really looking forward to this. Let's see what's inside. Alright, packing peanuts, but we can see on top we already have one of the miniature expansions. So let's get this out. Korlok Tyrant-Weed miniature expansion. Really, really cool. So this is one of the smaller ones, similar to the goo from above. You can see you've got Korlok Tyrant-Weed sprouts, the healing pods, the clam itself, the heart clam, and then cave segments and info cards. Very cool. We'll open them all up one by one. Let's just get everything out. What we got down here? This is the bulk detonator. This is actually tiny. I can't believe how small this is. I thought he was going to be much, much bigger, but I guess he takes up the entirety of the box, maybe? That's really strange. Interesting. Next, this is the mixed mission or combined mission book. It also comes with some cards, which is pretty cool. So this is a booklet that lets you combine missions from both expansions together. I think that came as a standard with the Kickstarter, but I had to pay separately for it. Here is the space rig. Really cool. This is the one that I wasn't necessarily the most interested in, but there is a lot of awesome stuff on this one. So we've got new game modes, loads of new miniatures and pieces. So yeah, really cool. Then should just be one more thing. Here is the Biome expansion. This is the one that I was most looking forward to. We've got new biomes and new miniatures for the biomes. Really, really cool, this one. This one is going to have the most variety, I think, for gameplay, so really excited for this one. It's interesting that it says 24-hour coin on the front, because I didn't back it on Kickstarter at all, so it'd be interesting if that's in it. And then I think it should just be card sleeves. Yeah, and then we've got some card sleeves, mood publishing. These are just ones that are specifically the right size, so yeah, that's cool. And that's everything else in the box. Okay, we're gonna start with the smaller expansions, I think, and then work our way up. Well, I guess we'll start with the card sleeves. Not that that's anything interesting. It should just be clear card sleeves. There we are, clear card sleeves. I don't know how many I'm gonna need, because all of my cards from the base game and goo from above, which are the only two things I own currently, they're already sleeved. So that might be more than I need, but I'd rather have too many than too few. Next up then, we have the bulk detonator. So I think this is just the bulk detonator, the cards. Yeah, it's the big boomer. The bulk detonator is like a huge version of the Glyphid exploder. It is one of, if not the biggest creature found in the cave system. Its entire body is gnarled into a lumpy mess, and its mouth is deformed with many fangs jutting out in random directions. So in Deep Rock Galactic, the video game, the bulk detonator and the Crassus detonator, which is basically just a bulk detonator covered in gold, can spawn randomly on maps, and when they explode, oh boy, they basically destroy the huge, huge amount of the cave systems. They're pretty awesome, so it'd be interesting to see how this works from a gameplay perspective. So let's take him out of his box. I do like this little box. So you can see on the side, we have artwork of the bulk detonator, same artwork, and then on the top you can see we've got a card which looks like either a horde or an event card. See, that's all that's in it, is this massive thing here. So we take this out of here. We have, it's the big boomer. Place the bulk detonator at exit 1, and then that's the info card. So if you remember from the base game, the first edition, the card, there wasn't these information cards for individual enemies. It was one piece of cardboard, big piece of cardboard, but then they've replaced it in the second edition with these cards, so I'm hoping to get my hands on the second edition version of this for the base game and go from above, but I didn't back on Kickstarter, so that's going to be tricky. Anyway, the number in the corner is the number at which they activate. So bulk detonator is 16, which is quite far down. So 8 HP, range of 2, movement of 3 in one activation, 1 black die, and on an exclamation mark you are stunned and take damage. It resists explosive die and the yellow die, the flame die. When killed, rolled 2 ranged explosive with a range of 2, and it's a rock and stone card. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Let's look at the mini. Oh, and then obviously the swarm card here. It's the big boomer. Place the bulk detonator exit 1, so you can get him randomly in a swarm. That's cool. Finally, the miniature himself. That is pretty cool. So yeah, he's pretty huge. Looks really awesome with his design. I feel like he should be rounder. Maybe they're in the video game they're rounder, but he's got his soft spots. I don't think he has any weak spots according to the card, but he is really cool. So it takes up 2 hexes on the board like that. Very, very nice. So that is our bulk detonator mini expansion. I'll put somewhere on screen how much this cost, like each part individually. One of the main reasons why I didn't back this on Kickstarter was because I thought it was quite expensive. The base game all in was like 150 euros or something like that, but the expansions all in came to something like 270 or more. So that's why I didn't back it initially, and I do think personally that it is quite overpriced in my opinion, but the quality is really good with the Deep Rock board game, and it's a really fun game as well, so I'm okay paying it now that I can afford to do so, but at the time I was a bit miffed.
Editor Dan here, just to add a little bit more around the cost of Kickstarters. So often when you pledge a certain amount on Kickstarter, that doesn't take into account local taxes, it doesn't take into account shipping and things like that. So you might see the price of something and think, wow, that's a really good price, I should get that on Kickstarter. What you then end up having to do later down the line in order to actually receive what you've pledged is pay VAT, which in the UK is 20% extra on top of the total cost, and then you also have to pay shipping, which usually also requires extra VAT to be paid as well. So to add some context of what I'm saying here, of why I didn't originally back on Kickstarter, the base game, the all-in pledge was 153 euros. The shipping was 30 euros. The VAT was 32 euros and 80 cents, and the VAT shipping was 6 euros. I also bought an extra set of dice for 11 euros, which meant that my total came to 232 euros and 80 cents. Now, for the expansions, the all-in pledge was 235 euros. So off the back, the all-in pledge just for the expansions is like 82 euros higher than the base game itself. Add-on shipping for 30 euros, VAT at 47 euros, VAT shipping at 6 euros. The total is 318 euros for the expansions. So nearly 100 euros more for an expansion Kickstarter versus the base game. So that is the reason I decided not to originally back the expansions. But in the end, I ended up buying them from backer kits, pre-ordering them, and the total came to 321 euros 60. So I actually ended up paying more and getting less because I didn't get the extra collector's edition stuff like the statue and the beer coasters and things like that. But you live and learn. Just something to bear in mind when it comes to Kickstarter. You should always read the fine print around taxes and shipping.
Okay, Korlok Tyrant-Weed. So as I mentioned earlier, I've got a bit more from going on here. You've got 5 minis, you also have a cave segment, and you have 3 info cards on this one as well. It says, Vegetation from Hell. The Korlok Tyrant-Weed is a hideous agglomeration of near-sentient plants working together as one. Earlier missions have tried and failed to kill this evil plant. All that remains is their gear. The dwarf who finishes off the Tyrant-Weed can collect it all. Interesting. The Korlok only appears on the hidden cave segment included in this box, shuffling this in with the rest of the segments before setting up each mission. All parts of the plant system block movement and line of sight. That is actually really awesome. So there are hidden caves that you shuffle together basically, and you just pick one at random when you are setting up your game. So this can get shuffled into the hidden cave segments in the base game, and then that means you can get the Korlok Tyrant-Weed to spawn. So rather than it being part of a swarm, it's part of the map, which makes sense because they're not really, they don't move, you know, they're stationary creatures. All right, very nice. Got the Tyrant-Weed artwork on the box. Let's open it up. So straight away we can see the hidden cave segments. So having a look at this, you can see you've got the two heads there, you've got the healing pods there, and then there's the heart. And you also have the flare, which is where, you know, what do you call them, like pickups will be, like Apoca Blooms or something like that. And you've also got some pits in there. It's a nice greeny cave segment as well. Really like this one, although there is a mark on the back of mine, which, there's two marks on the back of mine. Probably scratched from the miniatures that were sticking out, so it's going to be harder to not know that this is the cave segment, which is going to be coming out. So that's a bit of a bummer, but it's still pretty cool. Next up are the cards. So this is going to be the info. So starting off, Korlok Tyrant-Weed 17A, B, and C. So the Tyrant-Weed is considered to be after the bulk detonator, but they're all part of the same group, which explains why they're A, B, and C. So it's the clam itself has 8 HP. It's immune to being stunned. It's also not immune, but it resists blue and green dye as well. So that's going to be interesting. Not many things resist the blue dye. It says the heart clam can only be damaged as long as 2 or more of the other parts are gone. So you have to destroy the healing clam, healing pod and the sprout, at least one of each, or I guess 2 of the pods maybe. But the healing clam, the healing pod, it will explain, that's going to be interesting. The heart clam can only be damaged as long as 2 or more of the other parts are gone, as I said, and then you roll 1 of the mineral die to see if you get gold or nitro from him, and then you get 2 grenades and 2 rock and stone cards. That's pretty awesome. Then we have the sprout. It only has 1 HP, but it has a range of 7, which if you're on this cave segment, a range of 7 is kind of unnecessary, but it, you know, basically it can touch every corner of the cave. Then we have the 1 dice on the exclamation mark. The dwarf is, I think that's push and prone, maybe. I'll need to double check. And then you take damage, resist the same stuff as the heart, and then it says shoots at nearest target or regrows on or close to spawn point upon activation. That's interesting, so it actually regrows. So just like in the video game, if you haven't destroyed the heart, it regrows. Very cool. And then the healing pod says 1 HP, each pod heals heart clam 1 HP upon activation, resists all the same stuff as the heart clam, and it says heals heart clam with 1 health or regrows on or close to spawn point upon activation. Very cool. That's the cards. Now we've got the minis. So here's the sprout. Very cool. Kind of like this spitter from the base game, whatever that was called. So you get 2 of these. This is the healing pod. So very spiky and gross. And you get 2 of those. And then the heart clam himself looks really cool. Looks a bit like the piranha plants from Crash Bandicoot. But he's really awesome, and you get 1 heart clam, obviously. Really nice. I like that expansion. I like that it's quite different to the other ones, so it just makes it more interesting. How did this go in the box? Awesome. So that is the Korlok Tyrant-Weed mini expansion. All right. So do we do space rig or biome first? I think it has to be biome, right? So 24-hour coin, like I said, I'll be interested to see if that is in here. So biome expansion, it says here glacial, magma, fungus, and azure. So that's the azure weald, the fungus bugs, the magma core, and the glacial weald, I think is what it's called. Those are biomes in the base game. So, sorry, in the video game. In the base game of Deep Rock Galactic, everything kind of looks the same. You've got sort of like the dirt caves, and then you've got the darker dirt caves, which is for the harder difficulties. This introduces a lot more interesting stuff. So as you can see, it says listen up and sharpen your pickaxes, miners. A whole new region below the surface of Hox's 4 has been discovered with 4 new biomes to explore. They are full of valuable minerals, but also new environmental challenges, biological hazards, and a bunch of new creatures. Preserve your ammo and be prepared to fight the biggest creature you have ever seen, the terrifying Dreadnought. That's this guy right here. Much bigger than even the ugly oppressor. Hox's 4 will not easily give up on its valuables, so get ready to hack, slash, shoot, and stomp your way through icy caves. It says stomp. I assume that's a typo. It should say stomp. Molten rocks, gooey caves, and wondrous luminescent underworld jungles. I thought it said jingles. Very good. It's a big one. Dreadnought eliminates missions. So you've got 4 new biomes. You've also got some new minis to go in those biomes. You can see here we've got 7 double-sided tiles. You've got 5 Glyphid Cocoon tokens and Poison Spore tokens. You've got special tiles here, Dreadnought healths, and loads of other stuff. But let's not go for all of this. Let's actually open up and look inside. I'm so excited for this one. So the 24-hour coin sticker was actually on the box itself on my base game, but it's on the wrapping on this one, which makes me think maybe it's not. Let's find out. In terms of artwork on the side, you've got the Stingtail, you have the Rammer, you have the Kenora Shellback, I think is what they're called, and then we have the Dreadnought. Here we have the rule and mission book. It's a proper A4 book. Oh, it's really nice. This is much nicer quality than the rule and mission books from the base game. That's actually really, I know it's a little thing, but it's the little things that really add up. That's really, really awesome. So you've got the additional rules that have been introduced, so not too many. So that's really good. And then we also have loads and loads, and I mean loads, of missions in here. Like, look at that. That is awesome. So much gameplay. I'm not going to go through all of that, but that's really cool. Next up, we have some tiles. So that's going to have all of this stuff on it. So let's look at these. Okay, so starting off, we have the glacial tiles here. So you've got one big one and one smaller one. You can see there's this here, which I guess is for the like the pods, the glacial pods. You've got some more freeze tokens. There are freeze tokens in the base game, but this comes with some more. And this looks like a dreadnought egg. So that's really cool. On the back of the glacial ones, it's the molten ones. So really, really cool. Yeah, I really like these. We have even more glacier here, so that's really awesome. And we have like the Azure Wield. And then what I really was looking forward to was more primary weapons. So you got one extra primary weapon for each of the main characters. So we have the Shard Diffractor for the Engineer, the Hurricane Guided Rocket System for the Gunner, the Corrosive Sludge Pump for the Driller, and the Drak 25 Plasma Carbine for the Scout. So you can see on the back you've got the icons. So what's interesting to me, at least, is that I think the Shard Diffractor is actually a secondary weapon in the video game, but it's a pretty cool weapon. I would say it should be a primary, really. And then on the back of that, you've got another Magma Core and then a little fungus box down there as well. So you've essentially got 3 Magma Core, 3 glacial tiles, and then here's the other sides of the Azure Wheels. So you've got 3 of these as well, different shapes as well, which is really nice. And then this special tile here, no idea what that means. And on the back of here we have the extra fungus box. So that's really cool. So for each of these you get at least 3, because it looks like we have some more. We have even more of this, so we've got another Azure Wield and another fungus box. So 4 for those, which is really cool. We have the Dreadnought health tracker there. I actually thought this was going to have little like divots to put the health cubes in, but it looks like it's just a single pop-out thing, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. We have here broken mini mules, because this game introduced the mini mule mini game. Oh, it's not a mini game, it's like a mission type from Deep Rock Galactic. So where you find the broken down mini mules and then their legs as well. So that is really cool. Another mission mode. You've got some kind of gunk slime over here. We have the eggs. I think these are like glyphid eggs of some description. I can't remember what they're called, but they're a new like mission type, newish in Deep Rock Galactic. Then we have the like the fungusy pod things, and then whatever this is. I don't know what that is. So yeah, really, really cool tiles with these. Now let's have a look at what's going on in here. So first things first, I did indeed get the 24-hour coin, which is really strange. You see it's got a Dreadnought on that side, and then it's got the mission control guy on the back. That's a really cool coin. That'll go well with my other one. And also a lot of my minis appear to have kind of rattled around, so let's fix that. Okay, before we look at the minis, let's look at what else we've got. So we've got some little cards this time, and then some big cards. So let's have a look at these. Also, conveniently, they have compartments here for all of the new tokens, so that's really good. All right, so to start off with, we have some new rock and stone cards. I'm not sure what this little purple thing down here means. Maybe it's just to indicate that it's part of the expansion. Not sure. But we've got, I actually think we're gonna make it. Remove all stunned and webbed effects from all dwarves. Then we have lights up, or lights up, I can't remember how they do it. Flip an unrevealed pickup token or weapon upgrade token anywhere on the boards. That's pretty cool, so you'll be able to, essentially it will help you decide which way to go if you know what's where. We have some new secondary weapons, really cool. We have the Nishanka Bolt Shark X80. It's 1 blue die with range of 5. And then, you, of course, on the back you have the overclocked version. So you see the overclocked one gets a yellow die as well. Very nice. We have the Arm Score Coil Gun. Very awesome. Apply result to all between target and dwarf. Ignore line of sight, walls and obstacles. Ooh. Ignore line of sight, walls and obstacles. Damn. That's cool. And the overclock changes it to blue. We have the Loki Smart Rifle, or is it Lock 1? Or Locky? No idea. We have the Colette Wave Cooker. And these are all from the video game. If you've not played the video game, these are all additions to the video game, which is really cool. Yeah, you can see this has the purple icon in the corner as well. So I think that makes it clear that it's for the expansion. So it's only really usable if you're going to be doing a biome mission, I guess. So we've got rammers, stingtails, we've got the shellback. Oh, and one behind it, we've got 2 of the shellbacks, 2 different kinds. Exit 1, exit 2. Yes, they are different, the shellback ones. Very cool. We have the Nadasite hatchlings, the Nadasite breeder, the Knor shellback. So these are 12A and 12B for the Nadasites. Knor shellback, the rammer, and the stingtail, and then the dreadnought himself. Big boy. 15 HP range, question mark. Movement is free. It resists 1 of everything, unless you shoot him in the back, which obviously ignores resistances, and it's also immune to being frozen, being pushed, and being stunned. So that's fair. We have some new grenades. We have the Neurotoxin grenade, which I guess is what that is. Yeah. So that's just a token for the Neurotoxin grenade. Place the token, deal 1 damage to all creatures in this area. If any part of the area is damaged by fire, deal 1 fire damage to the rest of the area and remove the token. Ah, okay, so you can detonate it as well. Nice. We have the pheromone canister, the spring-loaded ripper. Is that in the video game? I don't remember that. Voltaic stun sweeper. The shredder swarm grenade definitely is, because I've been using that. Tactical lead burster as well, so a bunch of new grenades. See, they don't have anything on them to suggest that they are for the expansion. Then here we have, let's see, these are the Dreadnought's behavior cards. So a bit like in Horizon Zero Dawn, for the big bosses, they don't just do one thing. It's not like where you can just look at one card and see what it does. This will do different things depending on which card you get, which is really cool. It makes it far more interesting to fight. Cool, those are all the big cards. Now we have little cards. So I don't actually know what these are. They've all got the same icon on the back, which is like when you're choosing a mission in the space rig in a video game. And here we've got the what is that, mission 1? So oh, okay, is this adding submissions? Yeah, it looks like we're adding, like, so that's elimination. Then you've got egg hunting, you've got extraction, you've got mining. That's the Dreadnought. Interesting, and that's telling you what mission it is and what mission type as well, and there's the mini mules. Interesting. So is that a way to maybe add variations to your game? Very cool. Okay, we've looked at cards, we've looked at tiles. The only thing that's left then is the minis themselves, which is going to be really cool. So let's have a look at these. So first of all, we have the Nadasite breeder, or Nadasite breeder. I don't know if these really do much. They don't tend to attack, but what they do is hatch the little hatchlings, which we also have in here. So you get 1 of these. So then these are the hatchlings. So it's these little sort of like spiky, floaty things. They fly around in big packs in the video game, but obviously being miniatures, they have to be like resting on something. But there's 3 on here. You get 4 of these minis. Next up, one of my personal favorite new enemies in the video game is the Stingtail. So in the video game, he uses his tail to hook you and pull you towards them, which can be very annoying, but it makes him super interesting. Kind of like a scorpion. Get 2 stingtails. Here we have the rammer. I don't know if I've actually come across a rammer in the video game. I did miss a couple of seasons, so maybe he was in a previous season and he's not been out since. But I think he, you can kind of tell what he does. He rams. You get 2 of these. The Kenora shellback. So these actually curl up into a ball and roll around and do damage to you. But this is what it looks like when it's not in a ball, which is pretty grotesque. It opens up its like massive mouth there, and it's got all these legs. Very gross. We get 2 of these. Next, these ones aren't creatures, obviously. These are just parts of the biome. So you get exploding fungus things. So interestingly, the booklet says you only get 4 of these, but you actually get 6 in the box. So not sure what's going on with that, but I will take more than less. You've got these glowing pillars here. These are for the Azure Wield, I think. And you get 2 of these. Very cool. These are, I guess it's kind of like the stalagmites in the base game. We have 4 cryo bulbs. These are obviously for the frozen wield. Sorry, not frozen wield, frozen glacial strata. That's the one. Then for the glacial strata biomes, you get 4 of these. They kind of explode in a frosty, frosty explosion, I guess. And we have 4 lava geysers as well. This is obviously for the magma core, magma something. The magma place, the hot place. Yes, 4 of these. And then finally, the biggest miniature so far, it's actually got a 3 hex base, is the Glyphid Dreadnought. He's got these massive pincers and all that kind of stuff. He's got these big arms. He's huge and spiky. There is his weak spot on his back. Looks really, really cool. This is the biggest and most intricate miniature that I've had in Deep Rock, and it looks super, super awesome. Really looking forward to facing this guy. He looks pretty scary. So I believe that is everything in the biome expansion. So some really cool stuff in this one. Obviously got the new biome areas themselves, as well as new primary weapons, which I'm really looking forward to using. New miniatures, loads of new missions. Yeah. Awesome, this one. Right, and this is only the first of the 2 big main expansions. Now let's have a look at the space rig. Space rig time, baby. This is actually a smaller box than the biome one. Well, it's bigger. It's the same size in terms of height and width, but it's smaller in terms of depth. You can see on the side we've got helmet and a gun. We've got the abyss bar. You've got the drill dozer, and then you have a pump jack as well. So this is actually a really cool expansion because it adds even more gameplay types. So in the biome expansion we have the mini mules, but in this one you have the liquid morkite extraction with the pump jacks, and you have the drill dozer, armor and hardcore, whatchamacallit thing. Really cool. Let's have a quick read. So it says, get ready for new upgrades and a host of new missions chained together as assignments. So that's one of the other things, and that's why it's called the Space Rig expansion. It's because you can take on and build an assignment. So rather than doing a single mission, you can choose to take on an assignment, which is multiple missions. I'm not sure how many, probably 3, and then add some stuff to it and level up as you go, kind of like a campaign mode. So that's pretty cool. On the orbital space platform known as the Space Rig, you can prepare for new missions by visiting the Abyss Bar and study the details of the new mission types. New challenges in the form of anomalies and warnings will make missions progressively harder, but fear not, as your dwarves will advance too with the latest and greatest gear. Get ready to embark on 2 new mission types, the Drill Dozer Escort mission and a Liquid Morkite Extraction mission, just as I said. So you can see there's a new board here, and there's a bunch of contents, some new minis and lots of little bits. There are fewer miniatures in this one than the other one, but still some pretty awesome gameplay enhancements. So right on the top we have the Space Rig board. It's very similar to the character boards that you get in the base game, but this has got a lot more going on here. You can see there's a position here for a statue, which is an extra miniature that you can get, but that was only if you backed on Kickstarter and paid extra for it. You've got this dude here, the mission control guy. I guess these are going to be your free assignments that you choose. We've also got some drinks over here, which might be your abilities. Got some warnings and extra things. We've got some things, trophies, and then there's a bunch of stuff down here as well. Looks like ways to level up and get stuff as you go on. So that's really cool. So that is the Space Rig board itself for the campaign mode. Next is the rule and mission book. It's very similar setup to the first one. Nice A4 glossy book. Very cool. See, it has all the contents in there. It explains how the new mission types and some new upgrades. You get upgrades to your pickaxe and to your armor and helmet HUD. So that's really interesting. Got all the different mission types, and then of course we've got a bunch of missions. The missions here are for the base game components, so there won't be anything from the biome expansion included in here, but And that's where the mixed mission book comes in, which we'll be taking a look at as well. Right, we've got a couple of tiles here. So you've got these extra 3 different cave segments. I think these are like loot caves or extra caves. And then you've got pipe segments as well to build the liquid morphite pipes. So that is really awesome. You can see they're also damaged on the other side because they get attacked by bugs. And then here we have some additional gameplay stuff. Over here we've got upgrades by the looks of it. So weapons, rock and stones, ammo, pickaxe upgrades, I think must be these ones. So that's really cool. We also have golden loot bugs. That is a lost pack, I think. We've got malt stars and also, are they yeast cones, I think? So we've got some new pickups, very cool. You've got oxygen canisters here for the low oxygen mode, which I'm not particularly looking forward to. You've got, there's the low oxygen mode there. We've got 5 each of the good and bad modifiers for the missions. You've got the drilling of like the liquid morphite platform where it all drills into. And here you've got the different upgrade places. So that's where you would put these types of upgrades in here. So that's helmet HUD, armor and pickaxe upgrades for the driller, engineer, gunner and scout. And then you've got the drill dozer. Again, I was kind of hoping that these would be like divot. Oh no, they are divots. Okay, yeah, you can pop these bits out. So if I just do that now, see that bit comes out, so you actually place these tokens into here. Okay, that's good. All right, what have we got down here? So far fewer minis as was to be expected. Let's look at what else we've got. So it looks like these are stickers for different things. I'm not sure, they're all the same. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stickers. I don't know what you do with these. Do these go on the board? Yeah, it looks like you'd put them on the space rig, but I'm not sure why you would want to do that, because you've only really got enough stickers for 8 campaigns if you do that. We'll have to have a look at the booklet. Next up we have some more full-size cards, and then you've got some of the mini cards as well. And we've got a few things in here. Let's see what we've got. So this, I think, is the Omran Heartstone. So that's going to go inside the core of the Omran thing itself. We have a full black die, which is probably just a tracker to kind of track where you're going on the assignments. This looks like more health cubes from the base game, so this is probably for Doretta, as Doretta has their own health track as well. These clear ones here, I'm guessing, are for oxygen, for the low O2, and then we've got a single black one, which I guess is for following along on the board as well. Okay, let's take a look at these cards. So first of all, we've got some more rock and stone cards. We've got Deep Rock seriously needs to invest in some better equipment. So pay 1 gold, then look at a random weapon upgrade and give it to another dwarf. Very nice. Bottoms up, friends. Target a creature within 5 range. You toss a beer mug at it, and the creature is now stunned. That's so good. So 2 more of these rock and stone cards. Now we have some more secondary weapons. We have the Stubby Explosive SMG. I didn't even know it was explosive. We have the Subata 120 Scoped. So these are like modified versions of the other secondaries. Oh, it's just those 2, but still. Better than none. Then it looks like we have Omran Heartstone behavior cards, probably similar to how the Dreadnought works. So I guess it's between phases, it decides what comes and gets you. So surrounded by bugs, you've got some Macteras there, we've got the Beams coming up, we've got 2 of those, Rockfalls, 2 of those, and an incoming Grunts card. So that's behavior for the Omran Heartstone. Then we have the little cards. So the first set of these little cards are actually drinks. So in the video game, you can go to the Abyss Bar and buy some drinks. Some of them don't really do anything. Some of them do some pretty wacky stuff, but they don't change your gameplay, and other ones affect your gameplay, which presumably is what these are. So for the Tunnel Rat, carving out a wall space with a pickaxe allows you to immediately move into that space for free. That's really, really useful. We have the Slayer Stout. On their turn, each dwarf may re-roll their pickaxe roll once. Again, really useful. Red Rock Blaster. If you take at least 1 health cube from a resupply pod, you may take up to 2 additional health cubes from the reserve if needed. Pots of Gold. Each time you mine gold from a wall, gain 1 additional gold from the general supply. Skull Crusher Ale. Creatures damaged by pickaxe or drill attacks each take 1 extra damage. Creature resistance still applies. That's really useful. We have the Rocky Mountain as well. Add 1 pickaxe result to your roll when carving out walls. You still need to have rolled at least 1 pickaxe result to carve out a wall. Okay, so I guess that means you can do 2 or 3 instead of 1 or 2. Dark Morkite. Whenever you mine Morkite, gain a rock and stone card if you have none. And Backbreaker Stout. Each dwarf starts the next mission with an extra throwable. Very cool. So you have a different drink at the Abyss bar. So let's get the board. So say you're going in with the Tunnel Rat, you would put that there, and then that's what you're going to be using. So those are the drink cards. These probably have different names in the box. Here we have the mission control guy. So what sort of cards do we have here? Killing Spree. Advance the tracker cube on the reward track 1 space each time a dwarf kills 4 or more hostile creatures during his turn. Sentry and Bosco kills don't count. Yeah, that's kind of fair enough. Okay, interesting. Mad Mining and advance the tracker cube on the reward track 1 space each time a dwarf collects 3 or more minerals. Okay, so we're talking about, I guess, kind of like things that can affect the rewards that you get in the, so the reward track, I'm assuming, is that track there. So that's very useful. And then we have the actual missions themselves. So just like from the Biome expansion, you've got here Pickaxe Mission 1, you've got Liquid Morkite Mission 2. This just helps you to decide what mission you're going to play. You've got some new mission types as well. But then also we have the Biome, or is this a base game? Oh, you got base game ones. Very cool. So that can help you decide what base game levels to play as well. Very cool. Those are the cards. So finally, let's look at the miniatures before we wrap up. We'll start with Doretta, the drill dozer. You've got Dottie there. You can see her little face. Kind of blurry. There we go. So yeah, the drill dozer is used in the, well, the drill dozer mission, I guess, and that's how you get through the walls to the Heartstone. Very cool. Speaking of which, we have the heart itself, Heartstone, and you can see it actually opens up, and that's where you would put the actual core, this thing. Put that inside, so that when you complete the mission, if I can put this lid back on properly, there we go. So once you get the drill dozer to the Heartstone and complete the mission, you can open it up and deposit that in Molly, just like in the video game. So really cool. I find that this game is just really tactile. That's one of the things that I really like about the Deep Rock Galactic board game. You also get 2 of the crystal tower things. These are like sentry turrets that defend the Omran Heartstone. And then 3 pump jacks, really cool miniatures. And this is what you connect up the pipes to mine the liquid morkite. And that is everything in the space rig. Right, so we still have one more thing to look at, which is the mixed mission book. Here is the mixed mission book. So you can see it says space rig and biome expansions combined mission book, and it also has some additional cards as well. So these are the actual mission cards to help you decide what mission to do. First of all, let's look at the mission cards. So here you can see you've got a liquid morkite from mission 1. You've got drill dozer mission 2. Liquid Morkite Mission 3, Drill Dozer 4, Morkite 5, 6, yeah. Okay, so it's only the new mission modes, but that's how you're combining the space rig with these missions, I guess. So you can put these into those expansions. And then we have the book itself, which I think, essentially, apart from a little explanation here of the different mission types and the different regions in the biome expansion, you've just got missions which use basically a combination of everything in here. So you can see this is a frosty extraction, so it's a liquid morkite mission on the glacial strata. Really, really cool. You see you got some stingtails, some shellbacks, and the nadosite breeder and hatchlings. Very nice. Fungus Bogs drill dozer mission here. There's the Omran Heartstone and there's the drill dozer. Really cool. We've got the liquid morkite in the azure wield with some exploders as well. We've got the drill dozer in the magma core. Then you've got a liquid morkite in the azure wield. You've got the glacial strata drill dozer mission, magma core, liquid morkite, and then the azure wield drill dozer as well. So essentially you've got 2 of each of the mission types in each of the 4 biomes, so 8 new missions. So that's the combined mission book as well. So there we go, that is the expansion Kickstarter, but not Kickstarter as I mentioned. But I think it's pretty much everything that would have been in a Kickstarter minus a few extra bits. Really, really happy with all of this. It's going to be great to add this to my base game stuff. So now you see everything's together. We got the first edition base game here. We've got the space rig, the biome expansion, and then the 3 miniature expansions, the Korlok Tyrant-Weed, bulk detonator, goo from above, and then the extra dice as well. We've got the combined mission book and the sleeves. So loads and loads of Deep Rock Galactic to be getting on with. Really awesome. I'm going to be digging into this and playing some games. Really happy about everything. Let me know your thoughts on the Deep Rock Galactic board game. It is one of my favorites out of the ones that I've picked up So I'm hoping that it'll continue to release expansions for it. But that's everything for this video. Thanks for watching.